Okay, let's start today the third part of this chapter, that is your get to know about plants. We have already talked in the next second part about stem, the functions of the stems, what are different parts of the leaf, and what are the functions of the leaf. And also we have talked about roots. So in activity 6, you already studied that both the plants, if it is not watered regularly, but one is without roots, isn't it? So this activity will help you to understand the important functions of the root, that root can only absorb the nutrients and water from the soil, and without roots the plants cannot be grow healthy. So now see activity 7. We would require a seed of a gram and maize, cotton wool, bowl, that is a katori you can say, and some water. For activity 7, these things you will need, that is a gram, maize, cotton wool, katori, and some water. 4 things you will need. Take some bowl, take 2 bowls. You have to take 2 bowls. Place some wet cotton in them. In both the bowls you have to kept a root, that is a cotton. In both the bowl you have to put a cotton in them. In Gujarati you can say roo, but 3 or 4 seeds of gram in one and maize in the other. You have to put 3 or 4 seeds of gram in one bowl, and maize seeds in other bowls. Understood till here? Now keep the cotton wet by sprinkling water every day. You have to just sprinkle the cotton every day. You have to just make it wet with the help of a shower or something, with a spray, until the sprouts have grown into a young plants. Once afterwards, you will, after 4 to 6 days, you will see that the sprouts might be coming out from the grains. After a week, try to separate the young plants from the cotton. Now you have to separate the young plants which is being stick in the cotton, that you can see here. Your grains are sprouted gram and it is stick to the cotton. Now, was it easy to separate the cotton from the roots? No, it is not easy because it is being stick to the cotton. In activity 6, we could not pull out the plants from the soil, right? We cannot pull out because with the help soil will boundly holds the soil to very tightly and firmly. That I already told you in part 2, that in the functions of the roots, that soil is roots help in holding the soil together, and it also fixed the plant to the soil. And we afterwards, what will be happen, we dug them out. This is because the roots help in holding the plant firmly to the soil. They anchor the plant to the soil. This function that you of holding and plant to the soil and anchors the plant, that you from the activity 7 you might understood. Now you have seen that there are different kinds of stems and leaves. You already studied there are different types of stems, that is thick and thin. Also leaves are of different shapes and size and also color. And you also studied about roots are also of 2 types, that is a taproot and a fibrous root, isn't it? No. So do the roots also show a variety? Let us find out. No, we have not studied the types of root, that you will study further. Now if we from activity 8, study figure 7.16 and that is A and B carefully. Now look at the roots of the gram plants you have pulled out from the cotton in the previous activity. You already have 2 seeds, that is a gram and a maize. In both the things, sprouts are being came out from after sprinkling the water for 4 to 5 days. Now what will happen? You have pulled out. Then do you look like the roots? Do they look like the roots? In figure 7.16a or those in figure 7.16b. How about the roots of the maize plant? What do you think the maize plant of the roots are? Write gram or maize in the blank space in the figure after matching the roots with the figures. Now see, in what ways are the roots of the gram and maize similar? What do you think? The maize and gram are similar. In what way are they different? In both the things it is different. There seem to be 2 different types of root, isn't it? Are there also other types of root? Let us find out. You might have seen that in gram there is a one stem and the root is coming from the singular stem only. So that type of root is called a taproot. But in the maize, there are two sprouted roots coming from both the different sides. You can see. So maize has a fibrous root. So the types of roots that you will study further. See activity 9. Go to an open ground where many wild plants are growing. You can also pluck it just now. So many plants are being grown. Weeds also you can take. Dig out wash the soil of the roots and observe them. Along with the roots, you have to dig it out and take it out from the soil. Do you find that all of them have either the kind of root shown in figure 7.17 or as in figure 7.17, that is B? Yes, it might be one of them. It can be a taproot or a fibrous root. What is a taproot? The main root is called a taproot and the branches roots are called lateral roots. In plants like grass, wheat or banana, there is no main root. A number of similar size roots arise in the cluster below the stem and spread out in the soil. These roots are called fibrous root. Here you can see clear the picture of two. See figure 9.5. Here I have just given you the picture. You can see the stem in the root part. It goes from the above shoot system and it also goes along with the ground also. So there is a same main root is single and it is continuous from the shoot system also. So that type of root is called a taproot. And you can see the figures 9.6. You can here the roots are one singular stem is not there and roots are in the cluster form and it is also a similar size roots are numbers in it is in clusters and it is spread out all in the soil. So this type of root is called a fibrous root. Clear? So these are some of the some of the food which is stored in the form of roots. You already know the foods which is being manufactured by the leaves. It is either stored in the form of roots, in the form of stem, in the form of leaves, or in the form of fruits and veggie flowers. So here are some of the roots which can be eaten in our daily life. Example is turnip, sweet potato and carrot. It is an underground plant and it is also an example of a roots which can be eaten in our everyday life. Clear roots? Now see just in the textbook we will just read out and already also the picture is given in your textbook also. Taproot and fibrous root. For the roots of the kind shown in the figure 7.17, the main root is called a taproot and the smaller roots which arise are called the lateral roots. The roots which arise from the main root, then it is called the lateral roots. Plants with the roots as shown in figure 7.17 do not have a main root. It does not have a main root. All roots seem similar and these are called a fibrous root. Separate the plants you have collected into two groups. The already in activity 8 which you have taken the plants from that taproot and fibrous root, you can separate them out and keep it differently in group A and B. Those which are of the taproot and those that have a fibrous root. Look at the leaves of the plants in the group A. What kind of venation do you have? What kind of venation do you see for the plant for the group B? Now study the leaves of that group very closely. Do you notice that leaf venation and the type of the roots in the plants are related in the very interesting way? So you can see Bujo has a brilliant idea. If you want to know what kind of root a plant has, he has not to pull it out. He has just to look at its leaves. If you want to know the different types of roots, how the roots sit, you're not going to take it out or dig it out. You have to just know the venation of it. Plants whose leaves shows reticulate venation have a taproot, while those with a parallel venation have a fibrous root. So from the leaf identification only you will be able to know how the roots are. You are not going to dig it out and see. So just you make it clear that it is very interesting, right? So that God has given us so many nice things that we cannot just see how to further that how to recognize the roots. We are not to dig it out here from the venation. You can see if the in the leaf the reticulate venation is there, that is a net like venation, the roots are taproot. And if the venation is parallel like a grass, it is both in the opposite direction and parallel to each other, then it is a fibrous root. So, can you match the type of leaf venation and the type of roots from the some plants you have studied in all the activities so far? Here you have to write the name of some of the plants and type of venation and the type of root. If the type of root is the taproot, the venation is reticulate, and the type of root is fibrous root, the venation is parallel. You can write some of the names here. We have learned that roots absorb water, right? You already know, and minerals from the soil. This is the main function of the soil. And the stem conducts this to leaves and other parts of the plant. The leaves prepare their food. This food travels to the stem and is stored in different parts of the plant. We eat some of these roots like carrot, radish, sweet potato, turnip, and tapioca. We also eat many other parts of the plant where food is stored, that you already know. Do you agree that stem is like a street with two-way traffic? From the two-way traffic means from up and down. Write the name of the material that goes up in the stem and which that comes down in the from. So you can say the food will comes down and the water and the minerals will again go up, and after food which is being prepared by the leaves again go to the various parts of the plants. So stem has a two-way traffic street. In the next section we will study about the structure of the flower. Now see what is flower. You are shown here the three branches of a rose in figure 7.19 ABC. Which one will you have you best to recognize the plant? With the flower, if it is a rose is there, then only you will be able to recognize the plant. No, this is a plant of a rose. If there is no rose plant and only stem is given to you, then you will not be able to recognize it very easily if you are not aware of the plant. So in figure C will be recognized very nicely. So you can see the A is a leafless branch, the B is a branch with the leaves only, no flowers, and the C is a branch with the leaves and flowers. Which color do you see for the flower? Are all the flowers colorful? Yes, it is. Have you ever seen the flowers on the grass, wheat, maize, mango, or a guava? Are those brightly colored? No, they are not brightly colored. It is the flowers are coming, but it is afterwards it is good in the form of seeds, but it is not a brightly colored flowers. Let us study a few flowers. Activity 10C. We would require one bud. One bud means a small flower in young flower which is not grown properly and it is not matured. It is called a bud. And two fresh flowers each of the following. That is a datura, China rose. You can take mustard, brinjal, lady's finger, and gulmohar. Now which flower it is available in your garden, you can take and study. Also a blade, a glass slide or a sheet of a paper, a magnifying glass, and a water. You have to take some of the flowers which is available in your garden. You can take any rose, sunflower, and China rose you can take, gulmohar you can take. You can take some of the fruit or vegetables, that is lady's finger or a brinjal. It is also a fruit. It is also a flower. Also a blade, a sheet of paper, and a magnifying glass, and a water. Now observe figure 7.20 carefully. Look at the prominent parts of the open flower. There are petals. You can see there is a petals. Different flowers have a petals of different colors. Where do you think the petals are in the closed bud? What is the most prominent part in the bud? Did you see that this part is made up of small leaf-like structure? They are called sepals. So there is a two main part of the flower, that is a sepal and a petals. What is a sepal? Sepal is a outermost wall that is consist of a small green leaf-like structure, and it is also known as calyx, and it is also called sepals. And under there is a bright part of the flower that is known as petals. So sepal is a green part, you can say, and in inner there is a petals of a bright color structure. And sepals is the main protects the flower in its bud stage, that is a young stage when the flower is not open, and the unopened condition of a flower, the sepals will protect the flower. And the next wall, corolla, consists of a petal. In the next wall is name is corolla, and it consists of a petals. There are most prominent part of a flower and are usually bright in color. Large brightly colored petals can be easily seen in the flower of China rose and gulmohar. Understood what is a sepal and a petal? A green leaf structure is a sepal, and under that is a bright structure is called a petals. Take a flower and observe its petals and sepals. You can, if you are having some of the flowers, you can observe what is sepal and petals. Now answer the following question: how many sepals does it have? Are they joined to each other? Mostly there is a one sepals. And are they joined to each other? Yes. What are the colors of the petals and the sepals? Most of the colors of the petal is bright in color, that is red or pink, and the sepals is always green in color. How many petals does the flower have? You can just count it and you can write a number. Are they joined to one another? Yes. Or they separate? They are separate one, but it is attached to each other. Do the flowers with the joined sepals have petals? They are separate, or they also joined together? Sometimes it is separated and sometimes also it is joined together. Fill the table based on the observation of the whole class in table 7.3. Add the observation to each table. This table from the field trip to the locality where there are plants with flowers. Fill these last two columns later. To see the inner part of the flower clearly, you have to cut it open. See, now you have to keep the flowers with you. After observing the birds, sepal and petals, we have to cut it open with the help of the blade from the open, and you will see what is there in there. If its petals are joined, for example in the datura and other bell-shaped flowers, the petals have to be cut lengthwise and spread so that the inner parts can be seen clearly. Now you have to, with the help of a blade, you have to just cut a sepal part, which is the down part, and with the lengthwise direction you have to make a blade cut, and you have to see observe what is there inside the sepal. Now remove the sepals and petals to see the other parts. Means you have to just take out all the petals from the sepal, and sepals also you can open it, and afterwards then you can make a small cut and study different parts of the flowers. Here see, carefully compare your flower with the illustration and identify the stamens and pistils in your. You might have seen so many small things here. You can see anther, filaments, stamens and pistils. You can see very closely when you will open the flower. Understood? There are parts of the stamen, means anther is there, then filament is there, and afterwards once you open the pistil, then you will see a ovary, then small seeds you can see, that is a ovule, and the above the stem is called a style, and above also it is called a stigma. So you can identify the stem and pistil in your field. Afterwards, look at the figure 7.23 carefully. It shows different kinds of stamens present in different flower. Can you recognize the two parts of the stamen in your flower? How many stamens are there in your flower? And draw one stamen and label its parts. You can see here the flower, that is a stamen is there. Also the anther, yellow color. Here in this picture I will show you clearly what is there. See, if you have taken this type of flower, a flower petals is there, then there is a anther, you can see a stigma is in the middle, it is a petal, then a filament is down, then a small very minute leaves, you can say a thread like is coming out from the sepal, that is a filament, and filament above there is a anther, and in a stigma there is a between there is a style, and here is the ovary, their seeds are there. Then the sepal part you can see here 3 green, and on the down part is known as thalamus. This is the part of the flower that you can see. This is the complete flower. The example of the complete flower, you can say it is a petuna, and maize is the incomplete flower. Here you can see the types of flower. Now see the last part of this chapter, that is what is understood different parts of the flower. Now innermost part of the flower is called a pistil. If you cannot see it completely, remove the remaining stamens also. You can take it out and afterwards identify the parts of the pistil with the help of the figure 7.24. Now draw a neat level diagram of pistil of your shown. Now see activity 11. Let us study the structure of ovaries also. I already told you ovaries are down in the stigma. That continuous stigma, the round shape is the down is there is a seeds that is called ovary. It is the lowermost part and the swollen part of the pistil. We will cut this part to study what is inside And if once you cut it, you can see the ovary part of this flower. Now cut the ovary into two different ways. You have to cut it with the help of a blade two different ways, horizontal and vertical both. To prevent them from drying, put a drop of water on each of them. Two pieces of ovary you have cut. Inner structure of the ovary, you can say a longitudinal cut and a transverse cut. Both the cuts you have to make it lengthwise and breadthwise. Observe the inner part of the ovary using a lens. Do you see some of the small bits being like structure inside the ovary? They are called ovules. Now try to find out name of some of the flowers as you are asking the gardener to pick the flower. Do all the flowers have sepals, petals, stars? Some of the questions you have to just study and give you the answers that how it is possible that ovaries you can see. And some of the experiment, if we are here, we can also do it, but after once you come, I will show you how the structure of the flower, that is the inner structure of flower. But just now you just understand the main parts of the flower is sepal and petals, and afterwards there is a stamen and anther, filament, and afterward the stigma part. In the middle part there is a style, and also it is a ovary, and ovary, inside the ovary it is the ovules. And once you cut it longitudinal wise, then you will be able to see the ovules and ovary. And also once you see the transverse wise also, you can see the ovules inside the ovary. And what is the main functions of the flower? You already know it is a reproduction system. Flower is an organ of reproduction in the plant and leads to the formation of the food and seeds. Once the flower is been, then you get a seed or a fruit, and once again the seed again is germinated, then you will get a new plant. So the main function of the flower is reproduction, and it is also used as a source of food. And the nectar from the flower is used as a food by the insects. And also many of the fruits that is a long, that is a loving, is dried up on opened a flower. And birds of the clove plant, you can say that it can be used as a source of food also. You can also say cauliflower is a source of food. Many of the flowers is also a source of food, and many of the flowers you can also eat. It is also used for the decoration purpose. The surrounding, it makes our area bright and fragrance. It is grown in garden, residence, and cut flowers are also used for bouquets and interior decoration. So these are the some uses and the functions of the flowers. And here you can see the parts of the flower, that is anther and filament, stigma, style, ovule and ovary. Then once it is cut, how it looks, you can see here longitudinal wise ovary and ovules. Then some common flowers you can see here. The mustard flower, here the sepal is there and the petal is there. Once it is open, and then stigma flower, petals, style, then sepal, ovary and ovules. Inside the ovary it is being shown here. Also the hibiscus flower, here you can see the leaf, flower and stem. Then once it is cut down and once it is opened up, you can see the petal of the hibiscus flower. Then the style is between, then ovary and ovules are also there in the stigma part. So this is the example of some of the China rose plant. Also you can see in the hibiscus plant also you can see petunia twig. You can see the flower, once it is cut, and stigma is in between, petals, style, ovary, ovules and sepals. So these are the examples of some of the flowers I have already given you. Thank you. It is the end of our chapter.